Everywhere else could be like, we're amazing, but Belgium would be like, no, we're actually amazing, guys. Potatoes are one of the best vegetables out there. One of the reasons they're so great is because of the many different ways they can be served. You can boil them, mash them, or stick them in a stew. What is undoubtedly the most popular way to serve potatoes, however, is by making them into chips. And by chips, I mean the kind of cooked things you have with a burger or fish, not the thinner kind that come in a packet. I would call those crisps. Yet, in the USA and other parts of the world, what I, a British person, would call crisps would instead be called chips, and what I call chips would instead be called fries, or even French fries. This gives us the three names of chips, crisps, and fries for these two different kinds of ways of serving potatoes. So, where did this strange split in the names of these potatoes actually come from? The best way of getting our heads around this is by looking to the history of both these potato styles. It seems that chips, as in the thing I would call chips they have with fish, are the ones that came first. And despite being so linked to places like Britain and the USA, they are believed to actually be of Belgium origins. Chips are heavily linked with Belgium, especially when served with mussels. Seriously, I don't know if I've said this before, but Belgium has all the great things. Like, if there's ever something really cool, like something that's deeply linked with France or Germany or something, it's normally actually Belgium in origin. Like, seriously, Belgium. Chips, chocolate, beer, waffles, mussels, amazing comics, the Smurfs, Tintin. Like, all of these great things are actually Belgian. Like, if you're watching this from Belgium, you've got it made, but no one actually realizes yet. And keep it a secret. Well done, Belgium. Man, I love Belgium. The story goes that one winter in the 17th century, Belgium's River Meuse froze over, meaning those who lived in villages along its banks couldn't fish for their food. So instead of eating fish, they instead fried potatoes and turned them into chips as we know them. This is a heavily debated story, however, with some claiming they were instead a French creation. Let's stick with that Belgian story, however. As mentioned, this creation happened along the River Meuse, which is in the southern French-speaking part of Belgium. Here they became known as frites, which simply means fries in French, simply because these chips were fried, which is easy to understand. So the OG name for these things are fries, which I guess means the Americans used the more correct name for them. But how on earth did this name get from Belgium to the USA? Well, once again, there's a bit of a mythical story behind that too. Apparently, during the First World War, American soldiers stationed in Belgium came across these potatoes cooked in this way that they had never seen before. They liked them so much that they brought them back to the USA with them and adapted that name of frites into fries. They specifically called them French fries because the part of Belgium they came from spoke French. They clearly didn't know they're actually in Belgium. They just thought, oh, they're speaking French, we'll call them French fries, which I guess is kind of fitting because that's the language people are being used. I mean, imagine if they're called Belgian fries. Oh, yeah, maybe that put Belgium on the map more, but we don't want Belgium on the map. We want them to be low-key amazing. Like, everywhere else could be like, we're amazing, but Belgium would be like, no, we're actually amazing, guys. That'd be great. Sorry, massive Belgian tangent. This, once again, is just the story, and there are reports of things like fries being eaten in the States and around the world before this too. They were probably just one of those things that kind of just happened by accident in many cases, people just chopping up potatoes and frying them, so this is the closest we have to a true origin, but people are probably eating fries way back when. But for some reason, they didn't end up being called fries in the UK. Chips are believed to have risen in popularity in the UK in the 17th century. That's around the same time as their mythical Belgian creation. They were referred to as chips in the UK because chip was once a catch-all term for any smaller slice of fruit or vegetable. We still use chip in this way in American and British English to refer to the smaller part of something that has fallen off, or chipped off. Yeah, it's a verb too. It seems here in the UK, chips or potato became the definitive chip, especially once they were paired with fish and became one of the national dishes of the country. Oh, fish and chips, just love it. Love it. There's not much that makes me proud to be British. Fish and chips is one of them, but I think they're actually Belgian in origin as well. See, everything's actually Belgian in origin. God damn, Belgium, I love you. Anyway, before we continue, I want to say a huge thank you to my most recent Super Thanks leavers. So a huge thank to Super Thanks leaver Jeanette Berend 8730. Super Thanks is a great way to make a one-time donation to help support Name Explain, and can be left directly in the comment section of any of my YouTube videos. However, Patreon is the best way to financially support Name Explain, and donating just $1 a month gets you ad-free videos, a chance to say what names are explained, an exclusive monthly newsletter, and your name at the end of these videos. All that can be found at patreon.com/nameexplain, which will be linked down below. All that helps out tremendously. Thank you. Anyway, while that explains why chips are called chips in the UK and fries in the USA, what about the other kind of potato we are talking about today? The kind I would call crisps and Americans would call chips. Well, it seems that once again it's the American English version of this name that came first for these potatoes. The popular story of their origin comes from the USA, specifically Saratoga Lake in New York State. It goes that Chef George Speck, who was known professionally as George Crumb, which is a terrific name, it's like a Harry Potter sounding name, once received a complaint that his fries were too thick. So he sliced them super thin and dubbed them Saratoga chips. He used the term chips once again because they were little chippings of potato by this point. These became super popular not only in his restaurant but around the USA. But the Saratoga part of the name was removed and they were just called chips, or even potato chips, because, you know, they were made from potato. And you can actually get other kinds of chips made from other vegetables. Have you ever had beetroot chips? I love beetroot chips or parsnip chips. Oh, like, yeah, go eat some other chips. Like, they're great. They might be more healthy for you. They're in like fancier, more eco-friendly looking packaging, so that means they're healthier, right? Yeah, that's how these things work. These chips were so popular that they made their way to the UK eventually too. Yet there was a bit of an issue. They couldn't really be called chips because by this point, chips was already being used as the name for a different kind of potato, the fish and chips kind of chips. So a new name had to be devised. Eventually the name of crisps was landed on for these chips. This name simply comes from the fact that these kinds of chips are pretty crispy, so calling them crisps made plenty of sense. And the last thing that makes this confusing is that sometimes in the UK we actually do still call chips fries. This is because some see a difference between the two things here in the UK. Chips are seen as being thicker, like the kind you get with fish and chips or like a pub lunch or something, while fries are seen as the smaller, thinner kind, like the ones you get at McDonald's or from any sort of fast food chain really. Though most people wouldn't really bat an eyelid if you called fries chips or chips fries or whatever. There's also the term wedges, which I just thought I ought to mention. That's just where you take a potato and cut it into wedges and fry it. Wedges are really good. Do people like wedges in America? Let me know. I love wedges. Oh, I might have some wedges at some point soon. I think I had some last weekend. Yeah, but wedges are great. Love wedges. Are they the ultimate chip? Patatas bravas is a thing as well? I don't know, this is really confusing. I'll wrap things up now. So, if you judge these things by who said what first, it seems that the American English terms of fries and chips are actually the correct terms for these things. But let me know what you think about all this down below. Also, please suggest a topic area down below which we could cover in next Monday's Name Explain video. It could be about literally anything, and the topic can be as niche or broad as you like. I will then choose 3 of those topic areas and place them in a poll exclusively for my patrons to vote on. Then the winner from that poll will be the topic covered in next Monday's Name Explain video. You can vote in that poll, as well as enjoy many other great benefits by visiting patreon.com/nameexplain, which will be linked down below, and by donating just $1 a month. Thank you. Anyway, that's more than enough for myself, but don't forget to go follow me on Instagram where I'm NameExplainYT, and don't forget to join the Facebook page Friends of Name Explain, where you can chat with myself and many other name nerds. Okay all, take care. I've just eaten chocolate. My mouth tastes of chocolate. Advent calendars, 'tis the season. Let's do this. I need to change where my microphone is. Hopefully that should sound a little bit better now. Burger or fish. Not the finger kind. So again, and my back set in a little stool is serving me well for this. One of the reasons they're so great is because of this. So again, muse. I'm going to say muse. Muse. Let's go muse. So the OG, that came out very posh. Chips or potatoes became the rubbish. My voice went then.